Welcome to the channel. Gonna do a little excavation today. Running down here with the old Komatsu D57 S1. Gonna, throw some fuel in this bad boy and get to doing some work. Now this area that we're gonna be working on, I've been chipping away at this area for the past 3 years. I've probably dug this down 12 to 15 feet from where it was before, and maybe pulled out 30 or more decent sized trees. And the purpose of doing that was to kind of decrease the grade of the driveway. I wanted a more steady grade coming up. Before, it was just kind of notchy. It would kind of go spike up and flatten off and spike it up and flatten off. I just kind of wanted a more constant slope. And then I also want to build a house back in the woods at some point. And I knew I wanted this to be the entrance to build a road through the woods. And if I didn't bring this area down, you would basically be coming up a hill from the road. This point here is probably 130 foot of elevation change from the road. And then you would be coming to this point and then dropping way down a hill, heading back into the woods. And I didn't want the transition going back in the woods to be such a dramatic drop down. It's a little bit of a drop down, but I didn't want it to be the way that it would have been. So anyhow, here we are. We're fueling up, and I got my Crocs in 2-wheel drive, and I never thought I would own a pair of these. And I used to run this loader in my house slippers, and they just don't do that good in the dirt. They're comfortable, and it's kind of funny running heavy equipment in slippers and your underwear or a wife beater and or whatever. And I've done that plenty of times. I'm out here kind of in the middle of nowhere, and there's nobody to upset, so may as well do it your way and be comfortable. Alright, so I'm just going to throw you guys on time lapse here, because who really cares about fueling up a machine? You got to do it. This thing will burn 5 gallons an hour if you're doing some heavy digging way in the throttle. A lot of the times, because she's an old girl, I like to be easy on her. I don't really put her deep into the power unless it's need be. So a lot of times I can get about 2.5 gallons to the hour. But let's get right into it and do some digging. I've got you guys on time lapse. I'm going to be spending most of the day out here, and I've kind of got this edited down to a very tolerable amount of time. So the goal here is to cut this area down some. I'd like to decrease the fall from where the machine is at now is probably the highest point, and then maybe 40 feet past the machine into the woods is the low point of the road going back through the woods where I'd like to build a house. So I want to knock this area down probably about 3 foot in height overall, and I want to slope these edges. When I originally had dug this area down, I left the edges kind of high. I didn't know how much settling there would be. So yeah, we're going to be cutting that down some now. It didn't settle as much as I thought it was going to. And we just got to lower this area down a bit. Another thing that I'm trying to do is to divert the water that's coming from what I'm going to call on top down to this level. I want to see where I'm at about now. I want it to go kind of fan out over that area and go over the edge down the hill into that ravine or that holler, if you will. And try and decrease the amount of water flow that is going down the actual driveway. Like in that area where you can see the driveway up top, I'm coming down with Ho Chi Lin, my Chinese tractor. But where I'm coming down to is the area that, the water has been coming down, and, on our left, it's staying to the left and then running down the driveway. I'd like it to fan out over this area and go over the edge. Now, ideally, I would have silt fences and grass in, and when I do get that stuff in place, and I have gravel down, it's not going to be contaminating my gravel, because it should be clean water, not water loaded with dirt and debris. Now what I'm doing here is I'm taking this land plane and kind of running over the work that I did. I'm pretty good at grading with this track loader, but it's definitely no bulldozer with a 6-way blade. So this will kind of, shave it down a bit, fill in some of the ruts, and then it's just kind of easier for me to see what I'm looking at. I have a laser level, but I'm pretty good at eyeballing stuff until it's, I would say, within 6 inches of where I want it to be. I don't bother getting the laser level out. I feel like I can see to that point. So this helps me to just do a cleaner job. It does take a little time to run this around, but I feel like it gets me to a better finished product. So that's what I'm doing. Down she goes. Got this tripod on the driveway. It's on a little bit of an angle. The camera doesn't really show grade too much in regards to like hills and slopes and whatnot, but it's on one. Nothing's broke, so we are good to go. And let's get back at digging. Now you might have noticed it kind of seems like I'm going over a little bit of a hump right around here, and in this machine you really cannot see what you're doing at all. Everything for me is just kind of by feel, and I'm coming at this different angle and I'm trying to shave that hump off. So a lot of just running this machine is really just by kind of the seat of your pants. You know what the machine wants to do, what it doesn't want to do, when you got a hump. And it's funny, see, I do paintless dent repair for a living, and this is kind of like what we would call cross-checking. You're working things from one angle. You could see that I was going over there and I was getting that hump, and that's kind of what we call cornrows when you're tooling in paintless dent repair. So then you come in from a different angle and start working that area to smooth it back out. Everything's gotta be symmetrical from 360 degrees. So a lot of what I do in the paintless dent repair translates into this excavation, and I think that's how I'm so accurate with my grading, is because when we do this dent repair, we're either trying to match contours or make something flat or reconstruct a body line. So it kind of translates into this. And that's kind of one of the reasons that I like running this land plane across here too. Now, I already explained why I'm doing that. But another thing is that's nice about this is when I run this across here, everything looks the same, and it really, for me personally, helps me to see the transitions in the grade better. Because the way it is right now, things are different colors, and it kind of throws my depth perception off. But the main reason in running this land plane around is to get a better finish grade, because the track loader, that bucket, it's just real clunky. It's like trying to drive a finish nail with a sledgehammer. You know, you got that big bulky bucket, you can't even see what's going on. A lot of people use these track loaders for pushing down trees and digging basements and, you know, crude work like that. And, you know, I'm kind of trying to do grading with it. But it also helps me see when you can see how everything's kind of starting to look the same, because we're, you know, dragging this dirt around and it's all the same color. And it helps me personally to see the changes in the grade and elevations. All right, so obviously we're cruising around here and smoothing this thing back out, and I think it's right about now. I ended up breaking the 3-point on this thing. You can see, I know we call it a Heim joint in automotive. That snapped off, and that's kind of because you can see there's no side supports on that 3-point. When I bought this tractor, it had one. I got a new piece from Tractor Supply to put on there. It's nice that they have that stuff. I don't really care for that store, but anyhow, so this will give you a real quick view on, you know, what it looks like at this point. You know, I got that 3-point link on and the tractor back up and running, and it kind of just finished this area off right quick with without it being on camera. So that's a quick look. Now we just got 3 inches of rain after doing all that work, so we got a little bit of erosion, but you can kind of just get a feel for the transitions and how it, you know, worked out in the rain. You can see we've got silt fanning out there, and this is kind of what I was hoping for. I knew that we had this rain coming, and I wanted to kind of do what I did to see how it was going to perform in a heavy rain. And you can see that the ground is saturated, but I don't have any rutting coming through here. The water seems to have shed off very evenly and or absorbed. You can see a little silting in these areas, but no rutting. Now, this area that we're coming up onto, this is what I was hoping for. I thought I was seeing it right, but see how the silting is fanning out and then coming over to here. Now, once it came over the edge, it started really ripping, and all this dirt that got pushed over the edge, you know, was completely uncompacted, so it's going to let loose. And a lot of that dirt was already just kind of pushed down the hill anyhow. But once this thing is all grass seeded in, and I've got gravel on this driveway, this area that's silted would basically represent the water flow coming across the driveway, but it would be clean water. But that's going to wrap it up for this one. Sorry about the abrupt ending, but, you know, we had a little mechanical failure, and I had to go get some parts, and a shift in the weather, and everybody knows you can't change the weather. So thanks for watching, and I will see you guys on the next one.